till the day I die.
Welcome back to the Jonah and Ben podcast. It is Monday, November 25th. We're 3 days from Thanksgiving, 4 days from Black Friday. It's about 49 degrees out. It's past sunset, and I'm joined by my co-host Ben from the Jonah and Ben podcast. After the Eastern Conference semifinals between the New York Red Bulls and New York City FC, the Red Bulls, for the first time since 2018 and the first time since we've had season tickets, are moving on to the Eastern Conference final. This is the game we're going to start with first in the conference semifinals. Ben, what were your thoughts on the match and the Red Bulls moving forward? And New York City FC moving forward. But first, you can start with what you want to first.
For the Red Bulls, it was a beautiful match. Carvalho scoring an absolute rocket of a goal, and then Van Zier getting a pretty puck luck goal. They shut New York out. They looked confident. They looked the best they have all season. This is a team that can make the cup. They just have to find a way to beat Orlando that hasn't been done. Now, for the blue team in New York, this disappointing end to a decent season. Really, they need to get they got the real 9 this season, but they just need more. They need a new coach, honestly.
My thoughts on the game. I thought the Red Bulls had a great team performance. Everyone put in 100% effort. Even players who didn't have the greatest of games like Forsberg and Morgan. Even then, they still put in great runs and more effort than they had the entire regular season. And I think especially Forsberg leading by example as the captain and a 33-year-old who, of course, was in the Champions League semifinal with Leipzig now, still giving his all for the Red Bulls at an advanced stage is pretty great. And of course, Carvalho and Van Zier on the road. Not such a hostile environment as I think most fans expected. Not as much as I expected, of course. I think the NYCFC fans were definitely
terrible.
somewhat disappointing, especially after beating, of course, the Red Bulls twice in the regular season. You'd think they'd be more loud and obnoxious than they were pregame or, during the game before the Red Bulls, of course, took the lead in the 18th minute. But even before that, they were pretty lame. And I think the Red Bulls going forward, they pretty much repeated, I think, their Game 1 performance against Columbus in this game. Just got an early lead and turned into Fort Knox defensively. Obviously, NYC had 2 really good chances. There was the 1v1 where hit off Carlos's thigh and he caught it. And then the shot that hit off the post late, which would have just been the ultimate consolation goal. And maybe the shot that was right in front of net where the NYC player was off balance and hit it into the third baseline netting. But even then, those are not easy chances. Well, particularly the off balance shot. So I thought the Red Bulls played just as well as they did against Columbus. A less difficult opponent. Less travel, of course, going from Newark to Queens, Harrison. But I think the Red Bulls will be very confident going into the game at Orlando. And for NYC, I don't know much about them. Obviously, they didn't. Most people wouldn't have picked them to beat Cincinnati, and of course they did after Matt Freese had an excellent penalty shootout. So it'll be interesting to see where they go moving forward. I would assume they would probably let Cushing go after losing to their biggest rivals at home. But who knows? I mean, I don't think they have many changes to make. Maybe a new signing from Manchester City. All right. Moving on to the second game of last Saturday.
LAFC lost to Seattle Sounders for the first time in 10 matches, 2-1. And it was after Maxime Chanot scored that own goal, it was going to be all Sounders after that. So it was an obvious result for Seattle. They're going on to face the Galaxy and on Saturday at 10 o'clock. It's going to be a good game, but I think this is more about LAFC not being able to win in the biggest moments. They've lost how many finals in the last 2 years? Like 5? They're shit. The only reason they won MLS Cup 2022 is because they faced another choker in the Philadelphia Union. There is a reason why LAFC only has 2 trophies to their name.
And what about Seattle?
Seattle's good.
You know nothing about Morris's late goal or Stephen Fry's performance?
Yeah, no, I don't really know anything about them.
Well, Fry had 9 saves, 6 of them from within the box. Jordan Morris's goal, well, I was lucky that fell to him in the 109th minute, was an excellent finish. And yeah, Chanot's own goal was just very crappy. And after that, LAFC had late chances after late chances. I mean, until extra time when Morris scored, it was all LA. But yeah, they just were toothless in front of goal. Besides Holling head's goal, and then nobody else really stepped up for them. Besides, I don't know, Aaron Long. He had the best effort for them. All right. So you want to move on to the third game, Sunday afternoon, the worst game of the 4, but you can start as you always do.
Orlando City faced off against Atlanta United, and the game ended up in a 1-0 win for the Lions. It was I forgot his name. Who scored? Oh, Ramiro Enrique, who scored in like the 29th minute, and Orlando 39th, whatever. Held on from there. Atlanta really didn't look that much into it. It was going. They just never had really a good chance. Atlanta. It was pretty solid Orlando win, honestly.
I would say it was more Atlanta bad than Orlando good, but obviously we had a rooting interest in that we wanted to see the Red Bulls at home one last time, but Atlanta were very dull, 0 big chances. Gillespie made 0 saves. He pretty much could have took a nap, and the result would have stayed the same. And of course, with all Orlando's breakaways, it's amazing they only scored 1. They were trying desperately to keep Atlanta, and I think both teams were very poor. Obviously, Atlanta were pretty dog shit on the day, but I wouldn't say Orlando had a particularly very good performance at all. I think this was by far the worst game of the playoffs so far, at least for a single elimination.
Yeah.
Moving on for the final game and the highest scoring game on Sunday afternoon. You can take it away.
The Los Angeles Galaxy beat Minnesota United 6-2 at Dignity Health Sports Park. Gabriel Peck had a brace. Joseph Pansel had a brace. And Ricky Puig, putting up 17 goals this season, had a brace. He's been absolute... Oh. Wait. What? Oh, Dejan Joveljic had a brace. What am I even... I saw Puig had, like, 17 goals on this season. I just got him mixed up then. All right. And then Calvin Yaboa had a brace for the Loons. Dane St. Clair... No. Gabriel Peck should have had a hat trick. Yep, I'm just going to roll with this.
Okay, that surprises me.
Gabriel Peck had a penalty saved by Dane St. Clair. So did Calvin Yaboa, but J.J. McCarthy was off his lines, leading to the penalty being retaken, and Calvin Yaboa putting away the brace.
Oh, it's my turn, and you should have said something. Galaxy just absolutely, but I'm not going to say that word on YouTube, but they absolutely destroyed them on 12 big chances, 4.22 expected goals, a missed penalty, and they still scored 6, and it could have been 8, even without the penalty. They were just pretty much dog-walking them. They were absolutely destroying them. Every single attacker looked incredible for the Galaxy. Obviously, like you said, 3 different players scoring a brace is unheard of, let alone, as you see a highlight from the game, one of Minnesota's only highlights. Again, a 4-goal difference does not tell the story. Galaxy could have won by 6 or 7, but it just shows, I don't know, because I obviously have not watched Minnesota United throughout this season, but I don't know, Galaxy are obviously really good. I mean, Minnesota United, 3 of their defenders had under a 6.0 rating, and the other 2 had a 6.1 each. So, I don't know if this result shows how bad they are, but Galaxy were just absolutely dominant. Peck could have had a hat-trick. Joveljic could have had a hat-trick. Paintsill was good. Royce's old ass was good. Even he got an assist, and Puig got an assist too. They're the only remaining big market super team. Obviously, they're not the only big market team, but I think they're only super team left of them, LAFC, Miami, and arguably Columbus, but they're not big market. But they definitely were considered a super team coming into this season. All right, What do you think? Where are your thoughts going into the conference finals on Saturday, 11, November 30th? Do you want to
Yeah.
start with East or West?
West.
I'd start with the West.
So going into this, Seattle has not lost a game since August 31st. So you got to think about it. They're in very good form after just losing a Cascadia Cup in late August. So the Galaxy, they've lost like what 2 times in the last 2 months. I mean, I think the Sounders might get some like lucky here, and I think they might be able to get.
You actually are right because that
Yeah.
third loss was September 1st. Keep
So,
going. Sorry.
I think
Hold on.
Seattle will be able to get like maybe a 3-2 win, honestly. So I'm gonna go Seattle win at the Galaxy.
I think you're mad. I think the Galaxy are totally favored in this game, but at least from what I watched. When these two faced off against each other in the regular season, they faced 3 times actually. Seattle beating them in the Leagues Cup, then a draw at Seattle, and then Galaxy beat them in Carson. This game is in Carson, and I think the event. I don't think it will be 1-0 like it was then. I think I'm gonna go for a 3. I will also go for a 3-2, but I will have Galaxy making their 10th, 11th. Who knows how many finals they've made? A lot.
Yeah, they're
95% of users, or 84%, sorry, are picking Galaxy to win. I know they're the obvious heavy favorites, and it's boring to pick them, but they're just too good right now, as some people would say.
I just feel like Seattle.
Yes, I know Seattle have gone 10 straight games without a loss. I just think that streak will break. And I think it's 3-2 Galaxy in 90 minutes.
Yeah, but Seattle has like the level of bullshit that can get them there. Honestly, I mean,
But in the playoffs, Galaxy have scored 5, 4, and 6. And we both know that could have been more than 6.
They should have more than 16 goals at this point.
And 16 goals is incredible.
Yeah.
Even though it's 15. But yes.
Oh, yeah, no, I can't count. And then the Eastern Conference game.
So you got Seattle and I got Galaxy.
Is the New York Red Bulls taking on Orlando City at Exploria Stadium, 7:30 Eastern. It's the first time these two sides have met since June. So these two teams not really that familiar with each other. I haven't played in months against each other. These two sides have also met in a major semifinal before in the U.S. Open Cup, which ended in a 5-1 thrashing of the Red Bulls from Orlando. Absolute torture to watch. This game, I think, could go on either way, honestly. I think Facundo is probably going to score a goal. I think Dante and Carballo might tag along. I think the Red Bulls will be able to pull away in AT and send themselves to their first ever Eastern Conference Championship.
Yes, of course the Red Bulls lost to both NYC and Columbus late in the season. It is a different match. It's different now because, of course, like you said, they haven't played them since June 1st and March 30th. I think this will obviously play a part. When they beat them on June 1st, they were fully healthy then too. So it'll be interesting. No Sean Nealis for the Red Bulls, most likely. If he does play, it'll be a limited part. I don't think that will make much of a difference. I think either way, I'm going to go for another Red Bulls 2-0 victory. And I'm not trying to be biased, but I watched Orlando against Atlanta, and I didn't think they were very inspiring. And I think the Red Bulls had a better team performance than they did in the Eastern Conference semifinals. 70%, wow, 70% of voters are picking Orlando, but who knows what that means. So, I guess we both, you have a Red Bulls Seattle final?
Yes.
And I have a Galaxy Red Bulls final. LA, New York. It's not what I'm rooting for, just what I think will happen. Do you think this has been a good playoffs?
For us, yes.
But in general.
Yeah. Miami got knocked out first round. Columbus got knocked out first round. LAFC got knocked out second round. Cincinnati got knocked out first round. So many upsets. Beautiful. I just
hate how much it drags on towards the end. I feel like, when did the playoffs start? Remember, October what?
The playing round started October 23rd.
Exactly, and we're not even at the conference finals yet, and it's been over a month. But, that's just the life of being Don Garber and the MLS bros. Okay, broskies and crodies, I hope you enjoyed this edition of the MLS Podcast, Jonah and Ben Podcast, episode 84. Do you want to sign us off?
Let's go Red Bulls! New York is red.